Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the CRL Podcast. My name is Caleb Smith, the driver of the 54 High Five Racing truck and ARCA car on Monday and Wednesday nights. I'm joined by Jacob and Rob.
It's your boy Jakob, driver of the number 19 truck and ARCA car on Mondays and Wednesday nights, part of High Five Racing.
It's your other boy again, Rob. Drive the 93 for the ARCA and the trucks for S&B Motorsports on Mondays and Wednesdays, respectively.
And this is a special episode of the CRL Podcast. We are joined by Ross Tatum, driver of the 91. He just won his second straight CRL Truck Series championship. Super excited to have him on and ask him a few questions. Ross, how you doing?
Doing good. Excited to be here. Looking forward to talking to you guys.
Well, we'll just hop straight into the questions. You won your second championship Monday night, last Monday night. This is your second season, four wins in the series total. What was your kind of thought process going into the season? You're the defending series champion, second season total in the series. What was the kind of mindset going in?
Honestly, this season I was just looking forward to not making any enemies and just trying to get a couple wins. Last year I didn't get any wins until the last two races, so I think I only stuck into the playoffs by like 1 or 2 points last season. So I was trying to get a couple wins, make it in the playoffs, and just survive through the playoffs. And luckily I got lucky at Gateway and had a race where I could pretty much just control the whole race. So I got an early win, and then I got one at Chicagoland, and that helped a lot too. And then mostly it was just not making enemies from there, and I think I did a pretty good job of that. And just trying to race people respectfully so that people look forward to racing me, and I guess that's my main mindset most seasons. So I guess that was the main one.
All right, so Ross, you've kind of touched on this, like just amongst our team and the Discord, but you've talked a lot about your mentality for iRacing leagues with these formats, with the rounds, is just hitting singles. Can you kind of explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, I just try to survive. If you knock out two fifth place finishes, you're usually going to advance to the next round, especially that first round. And then the second round, it's kind of the same thing. You just hope for other people to make mistakes. It's a lot harder to dig yourself out of a hole if you finish like out of the top 10 the first race or the second race. So I pretty much just try to follow. I don't try to get off on strategy. I don't try to get off on, uh, tire strategy and stuff like that. I just want to, just kind of do what everyone else is doing and just try to race my way up to the front. And that's the main thing. I see a lot of people that try to do fuel strategy or tire strategy in these races, and sometimes it'll help them a lot, and then sometimes it'll really hurt them. So I guess main thing is I just try to stay around the competition that I'm racing and keep in mind where they're at. So I think it just makes it a little bit easier to manage the races in the playoffs.
That's basically the same kind of mindset that I've had. That's how I try to run the last or the latter part of the schedule. And earlier on in the season, I know that I've had a lot of struggles, so that I've had to change my mindset and change how I approach the races and do everything. But how was how was your truck during the championship race that we just finished, that you just won your second championship in?
It was pretty good. I got out there. I think I led early. I can't remember. I think I won the pole and I led early. Uh, it was nice being out in clean air, but then as that run progressed, I think we got a long green flag run. I want to say it was like 60 or 70 laps. I noticed the 79 and the 87 were making up a lot of ground. They were being a little bit more aggressive than me. And so I kind of just let them go. There was no point in racing them. I think by that point, Rob had already had his issues. I think you had a speeding penalty. And then Josh, he was just kind of far behind me on tires. I think he was like 8 or 9 seconds behind me. So I was kind of just letting people go as they caught me if they wanted to run a little bit harder. Um, but all in all, I think the race was pretty good. I think if I really had to race for the win, I probably could have gone up there. But I got really lucky with everybody having issues, and it just became a race of survival. And the main focus there on that last run was just to stay out of trouble. And two guys about wrecked it on the last lap, so I almost ended up in the inside wall. I think it was the 86 and the 14. They were up in the wall coming off the two, and I was right below them. So we almost had a Rob situation going down the backstretch. But uh, Atlanta's a fun track. It's a lot of tire saving and stuff. So it made it fun. It made it fun when other people would put on new tires. You didn't know when to put on tires. Honestly, I got lucky that the caution never came back out because Josh had a set of tires, and even you might have had a set of tires. I'm not really sure because I put my last set on with 30 to go. So
Yeah, so
even
there at the end, I know that I had a set left, and I was just praying and praying for a caution because if a caution would have came out with at least 10 to go, then I felt confident enough that with the tires that I had that nobody else had, that I could have went up there and at least got a top 10 from starting in the back with 7 to go. That's just how important the tires were there.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised Josh didn't put his set of tires on with 24 to go. Even that 6 lap difference, I mean, that's all Kelly had on his tires. That was the difference there, and it was enough to just send him to the front.
Yeah.
Anybody took tires with 24 to go just flew up through the field. So I was really surprised Josh didn't do it there. I mean, he would actually probably won in the end. Or I'm surprised he at least take fuel so he didn't have to pit again. But um, I got lucky and all that, so that was nice.
I also
Yeah,
had multiple sets of tires remaining. Granted, I was over 100 laps down at the time, but just
It's because
throw
you
it out there.
Yeah, we actually sent a team representative down there to try to buy some from you, but it didn't work.
Yeah, well, we're a little stingy with the tires. I get it.
well, you only get 3 extra sets, for that race in the CRL series. Um, we were talking before the podcast started, Ross. You have roughly 9 iRacing League championships, counting the 2 that you've won in the CRL Truck Series. So you're no stranger to winning these things. How's the competition in Clean Racing League compared to some of the other leagues you've won championships in?
I say this with 100% honesty. The racing here has been the best I've been in a long, long time, and I mean that league wide. It's clean. There's not a lot of drama. Jacob and Rob and you know I used to love the drama. I used to be in it all the time. So it's just such a breath of fresh air to be in here, racing with these guys who are clean, respectful, and the Discord's always popping. That's another good sign of a good league is when there's a lot of community involvement. Um, so honestly, it's been great. I've been lucky to win both I've been in. I don't think foresee that continuing, but if it did, that'd be cool too. But it's just been really awesome. Competition here is getting better and better each and every week. Just this year, we added a bunch of new people, and next year you're coming back, and a couple others I'm sure are gonna show up with speed. So it's just been a great time all around.
Yeah, and speaking on season 23, there's a lot of new things coming and a lot of new drivers coming in and drivers coming back as Caleb Smith and drivers leaving and going up to the booth. But how do you feel like next season is going to go for you? Do you think you can make it back to the championship four or maybe even a three-peat?
Man, I would love it. I think the schedule early in the season really sets up well for me to hopefully get a win or two, just to lock myself in. But anything can happen. I could go through a bad stretch where I get a bunch of wrecks. You just can't foresee what's going to happen. Um, I actually like the playoff setup pretty good. That's pretty good tracks for me too, so that should be fun. No road courses, so I don't have to practice, so that'll be good. Um, but it's going to be difficult. I mean, just think about it. Lane won 6 races this year and didn't even make the top 8, I guess. And I fully expect Lane to come back next year and win a bunch and be in the playoffs, be in the Final Four. I expect Jordan Trass. I mean, he's just been lights out lately. He's gotten a lot of speed. Parker Collins, you two, all 3 of y'all can easily make the championship four. Josh, I mean, there's probably 20 guys that can make the championship four if we're going to be honest about it. So it's going to be a lot. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to take a lot of luck. But if we get there, I think I have a chance, but it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, I know Jacob asked you what you thought about, possibly three-peating. Is there anything you want to accomplish, like maybe a race on the schedule that you'd like to possibly win that you haven't won before? Obviously, I know with a lot of different leagues that you run in, you've gotten a chance to run at most of these places, or not as much as others. So I'm curious if there's one on the schedule that sticks out that you really would like to win, just to say you have one there.
I don't know if we race there next year, but if I want to race at Pocono, I think I would probably throw a party or something. I'd probably have to come up to Salem to see you, and would probably have to go out and go to a bar
Hey,
because
listen, we got all sports nears. If you win a Pocono, drinks are on me at all sports.
Pocono is the first race of the playoffs.
so maybe the playoffs don't set up well for me. I don't
So
know.
it's Pocono, Richmond for the first round, and then you have Indianapolis, Phoenix for the second round, and Homestead for the championship race.
This is my official petition to stop putting Indianapolis in the playoffs. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'd
I
be down
I
for that.
I think that a road course
I
should be in the
enjoy the track.
playoffs.
This is a hope for me, but I would love to see us officially, like, at some point, expand to two road courses in the play, or not in the playoffs, but over the course
Two
of the
in the
season.
playoffs.
Calm down, calm down. It was a misspeak. I mean
Ooh,
two over the course of the season, because I think it's good when there's something at stake and people do have to practice road courses. Even if we did throw a Watkins Glen in there, in the playoffs, I think that's one that a lot of people feel comfortable at. I know Ross said that he's excited not to have to practice a road course, but also I'd like to point out that this is the same guy that was running P2 into the last lap. So when good drivers have to show up, they will show up for sure. So just, selfishly, I hope that eventually we can add a second one, but, I know that's a pipe dream. So
It's not really me not liking road courses. It's me not liking running the same road courses over and over. I feel like
yeah, I agree with that. That's why, I thought Coda was really nice to get on the schedule. I know Caleb and I have talked about Charlotte Roval. Um, there's so many road courses. It would be cool to see us kind of like just try some different things, just in terms of schedule wise. So,
I think the
I'm
CRO league would put on a great race at Charlotte Roval.
Yeah, I agree. So I know obviously Caleb and I are gonna test it out when they finally get the truck set up on there. We've already done it with the road course setup, just trying to find different places where it correlates, and it was a blast.
There's so many different road courses that I love road courses and I race them all the time. So maybe my opinion is different from some guys that don't race road courses all the time. But I mean, you have Portland now, which is has the same amount of
A
corners
blast.
as Watkins Glen, and you have Sonoma, Mid Ohio, Canadian Tire. All these tracks, they're not super difficult, and they'd be different for league racing, because you generally only see Sonoma and Watkins Glen in league schedules. You've started seeing like the Roval kind of pop up here and there, but not really as much. But I would also like to see two road courses on the schedule, maybe in the future.
One that it has been a really long time since I ran it, but Ross and I actually ran it in full send together. Was Mid Ohio, and I've only run it once, but that is a very fun one. Even Canadian Tire is a fun one. As you said, they've added Portland. You've of course got the classic tracks. One track that we don't go to a lot is Sonoma. Love Sonoma. So,
Hmm.
I mean, it's just there's so many different ones that we could go to. So I know that you and I will both be in Chris's ear as much as possible, trying to advocate for that second one.
But
I'm
what
even
about like some of the free ones like Lime Rock and Laguna Seca? That's what I would like to do. I don't want people to have to buy, but this has nothing to do with CRL. It's any league. It's I
Yeah,
don't think guys who aren't road course racers should need to buy like Watkins Glen, Sonoma, and all these things just to race them. Just because it is an oval league, most of them that are I only run oval leagues basically, so it's a iRacing league thing, not for me, not like a CRL thing.
I'm gonna tell
Yeah,
Chris that he has
yeah.
to put Chicago Street Course on the season 24 schedule, just so that way you have to purchase it, Ross.
you, you know
Yeah.
if I am correct, the trucks have a Lime Rock set.
They do. Yep.
Do they?
Yeah, so I mean that's a
Hmm.
possibility. I mean Lime Rock's also not a very difficult track.
Well,
I mean
isn't
we can.
Lime Rock on the truck schedule this season officially?
It might be, sure enough.
I think they're actually going back to Lime Rock this year.
That would be pretty interesting. I would
I
be
did
down to
not know
give that a
that.
shot.
I'm a big fan of short road courses, just
Let
because
me
it adds
confirm that.
traffic, and different things like that that you have to contend with. So it's not just so spread out like at Road America, places like that.
Yes, Saturday, June 28th, the Truck Series will be at Lime Rock Park.
I honestly, I'm excited for that. I love road course racing. So anytime they go to a different road course, one track I do hope they go back to, um, is it's the track in Canada, the one they race for the F1 Grand Prix. I forgot the track name, but
Circuit de
Circuit.
Villeneuve, I think.
yeah,
Giles Villeneuve.
yeah. I think we messed that up, but that's a fun track, especially when the Nationwide Series used to run there. That was always fun to watch. But that's also another track we could run in the series, but you know you have to buy it. So I kind of agree with Ross. You know, with the whole oval league, and then you have to have guys buy road courses that you know they're not road course racers. But I would love to try some of these free tracks in the series. I think they'd be fun, especially for the truck.
Yeah, I just think the stock cars are so fun to drive on road courses for the most part. It would just be cool to kind of get some different experiences.
Speaking of stock cars, I'd like to get the past or the champion of the past 2 seasons thoughts on the ARCA series and how does how does he feel that he can do in the ARCA series?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, but I don't know how much I'll get to race on Wednesdays. I'll try to show up when I can, but I think it's a really good thing for the league. I think it'll help you guys find even better people to come in on Wednesdays, and or I think anything to build the league up further and further is awesome. I think those ARCA cars. I've watched a few races that people have done. It seems like they're pretty good, so it should put on a lot of good racing.
Yeah, they're very stable.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard they're pretty good, so should put on a lot of good racing, and it should give people that maybe don't run as well on Monday a chance to run well on Wednesday too. So that's always a good thing too. Just keep them involved. Um, I know we don't talk a lot about like the Joe Spinellis and the Wayne Chapmans and people like that in the league, but those are the guys that make the league happen. Without those guys that show up in each and every week, I mean, it's hard to have a league. So I think that kind of league is perfect for everybody to have. So I think that's a great thing for the league, and I'll be interested to see who wins that one. That should be pretty cool to watch.
Actually, to follow up on that, I watched a race on Friday night that Josh was running in, and he was also running with Jordan Trass and Joe Spinelli, Zachary Peterson, and Judson Curtis. And at one point, I think there was 20 cars that registered, but at one point, it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, and everybody that was in there in the top four ran in CRL. And that was pretty cool because I know Joe and Judson both really try their best to kind of scratch and claw on Mondays to get those good results, and those positive results are encouraging for them. So it was cool kind of to see that talent level. Just it really goes to show how good everybody in our league is.
Yeah, I said it on our podcast with Fred, and it's one of those leagues. CRL is one of those leagues where you get so comfortable and used to how clean and respectful everybody is like you get in other leagues and other sessions, and it's just not the same. And you have a standard, not that you wanted one, but that you have a standard of how you think everybody should race, and that's due to CRL being so good and being a great league.
You know, earlier I had run an ARCA fixed official race, and you know I was running around, and it's just that I kind of got used up and kind of run over, and I was just I was irritated, but at the same time it's like this is how people race. And then you come over to the CRL series, and you know whether it be ARCA or trucks on Monday night and Wednesday nights, you know you won't have that. You know you'll have your moments here and there. Everyone does, but I mean the racing from an official or hosted race, and then you go to CRL is completely different. And I think that's why we all love this league so much. But you can catch you know all the action on Monday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 on OSR Network. and our sponsors over at Ghost Athletics and Grant Designs, and multiple other sponsors we'll kind of start to talk about in the coming weeks, really make this league happen. And is the reason why Ross has 2 championship belts, which I hope we get to see in May, because I've already seen the belt that you're getting sent in the next few weeks. Really cool. I want one. That's why I'm coming back and racing. But without our sponsors, this league wouldn't run the way it does. And got to give them a shout out. Is there anything else we would like to ask Ross?
Yes. If you win a third in a row, can you convince Chris to put my name on it and send it to me?
We'll see what we can work out. Maybe we could hang one of them up in the trailer. I mean, in your camper.
Oh, there you go. For race weekends. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, and then we
Make you
can
feel
all
like you
look
did
at it.
something, Rob.
Yeah, exactly. Listen,
Wow.
at some point that's probably as close as I'm ever going to get. So we'll go with it.
Well, Evan Kinney will make sure you don't win one. So
Well, actually, to bring up his name, we actually are having him on Friday, and so it's going to be exciting to have those two in the same chat discussing things. Um, we may or may not bring up Coda, um, so that should be fun. Um, but Ross, we appreciate you coming onto the podcast and having some time to talk to us. That was 2-time champion Ross Tatum. How he's done the past 2 seasons, coming in his rookie season, winning the final 2 races, winning the championship, then coming into this past season, season 22, winning Gateway, and then winning Chicagoland, and then winning his second straight championship, which has never been done in the CRL Truck Series. Super impressive.
It honestly, it makes me a little bit jealous because I've got way more starts than him in this series, and his win percentage is way better than mine, and it just makes you want to get that much better when fast guys like him and Mike Kelly, Scott Simley, Josh Altus, Rob, like Ross said, there's about 20 guys in here who can go out and make the final four and be a champion in this league. That's what makes this league so great. Is there's so much talent, and you have to actually work and practice and be the best if you're going to be the best.
I love racing with Ross. I have since he started with us. It's just been fun to get to know him on a personal level over the last few years. So it makes me feel good knowing that we've been able to meet people like that on iRacing, but also that we've been able to kind of grow that bond in real life and kind of build a friendship off of that. So just thankful for him and guys like him that we race with every week. It's a blast to be a part of that community. So I'm excited to see that keep growing.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate everyone tuning in to the podcast, and we will see everyone Friday for our regularly scheduled podcast at 10 a.m. Where we'll have Evan Kinney and Nathan Brown on to discuss their season, 2 past champions in the CRL Truck Series. Super excited to talk to those two, but we will see everyone later, and bye bye.